it's your girl, Mechi, and I'm back with a Beauty Academy video. Are you guys excited? This is our first Beauty Academy video. I hope you're as excited as I am. I hope these videos help you guys out. Again, we're going to cover everything from point A to point B to point Z. So I hope you guys are ready. And without further ado, let's get started. Our first Beauty Academy class will be over makeup brushes and tools you'll need to do your makeup. A lot of people want to know how to do things like eyebrows and contouring and highlighting and lashes and all that. But before you can learn how to do those things, you do need to know what tools or what brushes to use first. So that's what we're going to go over today. First off, let's just talk about brushes for a second. So I will say, if you are a beginner, your best friend as far as brushes go are going to be any type of brush from Wet n Wild Cosmetics, e.l.f. Cosmetics, and BH Cosmetics. And I say those three because most of the time beginners, if you're like myself, I was on a budget starting out. I'm still on a budget right now. Most people are on a budget when it comes to wanting to buy things, well, are on a budget period. So when it comes to buying makeup brushes, especially in bulk, you want to make sure to probably invest first in brushes from Wet n Wild, e.l.f. Cosmetics, and BH Cosmetics. Now, you may have questions like, well, where do I get those brushes from? You can get brushes from pretty much anywhere. You can get them at Target. Usually Wet n Wild and e.l.f. are right next to each other, so you can't miss them. You find them at Walmart, Walgreens. You can order them online. I think TJ Maxx may have some. Of course, Ulta. Pretty much anywhere that sells makeup, usually they have e.l.f. Products and brushes. And usually 9 times out of 10 they have Wet n Wild brushes as well. Wet n Wild's brushes range anywhere from like 99 cents or 82 cents all the way up to, I don't think I've seen one that was more than $4, $6 at the most for brushes with Wet n Wild. With e.l.f. Cosmetics, their brushes range from like maybe $2 to maybe $12, somewhere in that range. Now, BH Cosmetics, they have amazing brushes and they're also inexpensive. BH Cosmetics, they sell their brushes in like little canisters, like the whole pack together, and so sometimes they'll sell like a 14-piece brush set for $10, $8, something like that, give or take. Most of the time when I've gotten my brushes from BH Cosmetics, I've caught them on sale or around the holidays, because they have amazing sales around the holidays. But yeah, they're very inexpensive as well, and they come in bulk too. So I would definitely recommend all of them. And not only are they inexpensive, but they're amazing. They're amazing quality to me if you're starting out. And of course, you can work your way up. If you like higher end brushes, I've always heard that the best brushes come from Sigma Cosmetics. That's S-I-G-M-A, Sigma. I've been told that they have the best brushes on the market. They're very expensive, so I haven't quite tried them out, but when I do, I got y'all, I promise. I will update my brushes video, period. Any brushes you find, if you find other brushes that are inexpensive, go ahead and buy those. Honestly, no matter what brush you use, it's all about how you use them. And throughout this video, we'll explain more in detail how to use those brushes. So let's go ahead and get into the tools and what they look like. First of all, I want to start by saying you will need, for beginners, when I was starting out, the beauty blender was my friend. I currently don't have any beauty blenders on hand, but I'll post a picture right here of what a beauty blender looks like. This is what a beauty blender looks like. You can use beauty blenders to blend your makeup, anything from like your contour, which we'll get into later on in the classes, or contouring, blending your foundation. They just are so easy to use when you're starting out. So invest in a beauty blender. There are some pretty inexpensive beauty blenders out there. Definitely check Walmart, pretty much anywhere that sells makeup. Also, you can invest in these little sponges. I've used all mine, but they come in this little pack filled with sponges. If you try to use a beauty blender and you find they don't work, these are good alternatives to help blend your makeup as well. Also, which we're gonna have, I think in 2 weeks, a session on how to apply eyelashes. But before we get to those, not only do you invest in eyelashes, which as far as lashes go, you can buy, I would say for beginners, Wet n Wild has lashes for like $1, if not less. Also e.l.f. They have some dramatic lashes and they have some natural lashes if you want to get those just to play around with. If you are beginners, I would suggest getting more thicker or dramatic lashes, especially since we're going to learn how to put on lashes. I would recommend that you starting out get thicker, longer lashes. So that's key. Add that to your tools. But as far as the tools you'll need to put on lashes, you want to make sure you invest in tweezers. So of course we all know what tweezers look like, and here are 3 sets of tweezers and what they look like. One has a pointed edge. I use that more so to pick like eyelash glue off my lashes when I'm trying to reuse lashes, so I would get it just in case. I find that this, and really this one too, is just made a little different, but the tweezers that have a little edge on them, they're also good in assisting with putting on lashes, so I definitely would recommend getting those too. Also, these bad boys, these type of tweezers are gonna be your best friend, and this has like a little edge, looks like a little eraser. I got this from Walgreens. I can't remember how much. It couldn't have been no more than $12, but this is your best friend when putting on lashes. So within 2 weeks, guys, make sure if you don't have anything else for lashes, make sure you have this little bad boy right here. Next, you're gonna want to make sure you have a spoolie. This is a spoolie. It's like a little brush thing type thing. You're gonna need this for your eyebrows. Our next section is over eyebrows, so make sure to invest in this. When you do your eyebrows, you want to make sure that they're brushed down nice and neat, so that's where this comes into play. Speaking of eyebrows, you're gonna make sure that you have eyebrow brushes as well. And e.l.f. has, this one actually is from e.l.f. and if I'm not mistaken, it says small angle brush. And then this one, doesn't really have a brand, but as you can see, they're kind of slanted. So these can actually be used not only for eyebrows, but for eyeliner as well. So definitely invest in some slanted angle brushes as well. As far as eyeshadow goes, you want to make sure you find a flat brush of some sort. This is actually one of Wet n Wild's brushes. They have like pink tips, and it is kind of flat. I don't know if you guys can see. And then this is a brush from e.l.f. Cosmetics that is kind of flat. Don't know if you guys can see that or not. But these will be used on the lids. You do want to get a flat brush for your lids. They're going to come in handy. You want to get like some type of blending brushes. Now these brushes tend to be more rounder in shape. I think this was a gift from Wish. This brush is, and this is a Wet n Wild brush. Has some product on it, sorry about that. But yes, you want to get dome shaped brushes like these for blending. So blending your transition colors and just your eyeshadow all together. So make sure to invest in that. You want to also get contouring brushes. Now, starting out, honestly, for contouring, I would say you can use beauty blenders, but if you find that brushes are better for you, you can either use a small dome-shaped brush like this, which this brush is from e.l.f. Cosmetics, and it says contour brush. So I use this more so to contour my nose. So you can get a small contour brush like this one. And this is actually a Kat Von D dual contour brush. As you can see, this is the, kind of has a little slanted edge on it as well. That's for putting it on. It's angled to fit your face. And then this one is more dome shaped. So you can find a small little dome shaped brush. This is to blend it in. You don't have to have a dual like this, but as long as you have something that's dome shaped and kind of angled and a little bit bigger, that will definitely help you out with contouring, or of course beauty blenders. For foundation brushes, most of the brushes, I don't know if I said this already, but most of the brushes, they'll have the names on there. So most foundation brushes will say foundation brushes. Eyeshadow brushes will say like eyeshadow brush, powder brush. You know, they'll have the names on there, so it wouldn't be too hard for you guys to find it. And these are two foundation brushes that I use. This actually is a brush from e.l.f. Cosmetics. I don't know if you can see them. Yes, and this is called an Ultimate Blending Brush. And this brush, I was curious to see how their foundation brushes worked, or you know, how they blended. And I love this brush. Like, this is all I use now to put on my foundation. Not to knock this brush, which is a little bit bigger. This is, I got from Sephora. It's a little bit more sturdy. It's in the number 61. It's a lot heavier. It feels amazing, but I go between the two because this is good quality, but then I love my e.l.f. brush. So again, get your foundation brush from e.l.f. Cosmetics. Also, you'll notice there's more kind of bigger, some smaller dome-shaped brushes like these that are just kind of, you know, soft and whatnot. I don't know if you can see that. Sorry, I have some powder in this one. I just baked my face. But these are good powder brushes, so you can use these for like powders for baking, which if you don't know what baking is, we'll get into that as well. But go ahead and invest in good powder brushes, and they are a little bit bigger, a little more medium sized, and they have a lot more move around on their dome shape. I don't know how to say that per se, but they should say on them powder brush. And this actually, it says on here highlight. I don't know if you guys can see that. You can also use this to highlight. A lot of brushes have multiple uses, clearly, but I personally use this to bake. So either or. Also, I got these two brushes from TJ Maxx. Really inexpensive. I can't remember how much they were, but they were inexpensive. I think they were $5 for like 5 of them in a pack or something like that. But nonetheless, I use this brush, which is another smaller shaped brush. I use this to put on my highlight. So it's kind of dome shaped, but it's kind of, I guess, cushioned a little bit. And you know, I know you're used to the fan brushes, which I like these. These are fan brushes, which are brushes that you use for highlighting. Most people will put on their highlight like that. So invest in these as well. And this is a BH brush, but this is an older brush, so it's kind of, it's been through some things. I've been riding with BH Cosmetics, as you can see. But yes, you can use highlight brushes for your, you know, highlight. But I found recently that this brush right here, this brush, it's amazing for highlight. So if you find a brush like this or shaped like this, invest in it too, because it'll come in handy with your highlight. Now, this brush is more of an angle brush, and sorry, I tried to clean these, but I've used these so much they're stained with my makeup, no matter how hard I clean them. So this is a little bit angled, as you can see. I use this to put on my blush. Pretty much any brush with the angle is gonna be used somewhere on the jawline or the temples of the round parts of your head. That's what they're gonna be used for. So I choose to use this for a blush brush. So invest in those angled brushes, whether they're big or small. You're gonna need them. And I think that's it. We went over the fan brushes. They look like fans, which is why we call them fan brushes. Again, most people use this for highlights starting out. I did use this. I still do every now and then. I just am in love with how this brush has been like making my highlight look more natural. Invest in all of it. Listen, again guys, just to recap, and invest in eyelash glue. I forgot to say that. It's really trial and error when it comes to eyelash glue, because if you're like me, I have sensitive eyes. I have sensitive everything. Sensitive skin, sensitive eyes, everything. So just pretty much do trial and error with eyelash glue. I personally use this lash grip. I don't know if you can see it. You can buy it at Walgreens. Not sure about the price. Or any eyelash adhesive, pretty much. I had an eyelash adhesive I lost. I'm so upset that you could just take out and like polish the lash. It had a little brush on it. That was so easy to use. If you can find that, invest in that. But yes, also add that to your tools and your brushes as well. Of course, just ahead of time, guys, make sure you invest in foundation. We'll go over how to pick out your foundation and how to match your skin tone a little later on when that foundation week comes up. But definitely start looking at some foundations. Start looking at primers, which primer, for those that don't know, it basically just keeps your makeup on all day. You put that on before your foundation. Kind of ask around at your local store about primers. Some good inexpensive primers would be from e.l.f. I do have e.l.f. primers, and they have different types. So just a heads up, invest in those things. We'll get into the rest of that a little later when the time comes. I definitely want to thank you guys for tuning into this video. This is the first session. Woo! And it's almost over pretty much, and you guys survived. So I hope you guys learned a lot about the brushes you'll need. I hope in the meantime you guys will work on getting those brushes so that we can do these next couple videos together, because this segment is very interactive when I do my makeup. Feel free to do your makeup as well. This is a team effort, okay? We're in this together. Definitely thank you guys for tuning in. So many more classes to go. We have 7 classes after this to go. As promised, at the end of the video, I'll let you know what tools or what you'll need for the next video so you're prepared. So just to let you guys know, the next video is gonna be over eyebrows. So for the next video, you definitely want to make sure you have your angle brushes. You can also bring, because everybody's different, you can bring eyebrow pencils. If you have dark, like black eyebrows, like myself, I try to go a little bit brown, like a dark brown. Don't go jet black. You don't want your eyebrows to be jet black. You don't. You want them to look natural. So if you do choose and you feel like maybe pencil is a little better, get an eyebrow pencil in maybe brown, or just one that matches your hair on your eyebrows. So you can also do that. And also, as far as what you'll need, this is also an amazing product by e.l.f. And I'm pretty sure you can't see the e.l.f. on there, but that does say e.l.f. This is an e.l.f. It's called Lock On Liner and Brow Cream. And I found that it looks amazing. I've used it on my brows today. I don't know if you guys can see. And I just love it. Like, it's all I use now. I go back and forth between the pencil and this stuff. Definitely make sure to come back with your brow cream, or any brow cream for that matter, and those angle brushes and your eyebrow pencil if you should so see fit. Also, one last thing, make sure to come with concealer, and this is to clean up the eyebrows. Now make sure the concealer you have, and again you can use e.l.f. because it is inexpensive, or Wet n Wild. Concealers you'll need one that is, I'll say 3 or 4 shades lighter than you, like super light. And then you'll also need one that is 2 shades lighter than you. So if you want to try them on and see what's 2 shades lighter, what's 3 or 4 shades lighter, get those 2. It sounds crazy, but I promise you,
you'll need